The incident I will tell today is a blood-curdling event that happened to my uncle. Even after many years, the sounds, smells, and shivering cold of that night still give my uncle the same feeling. When the story begins, it seems as if even the wind falls silent to listen. Let's go to the main incident. It happened about 9 years after my birth. I myself am a witness. The year was 2012. The winter fog over the village sky was so dense that people found it hard to breathe. My uncle had a habit of going out every night to play carom with his friends. They played mainly in market. The market was about 40 minutes from our house. The road had big trees on both sides. At night, the road became deserted and not a single person could be seen. My uncle's friends lived in other areas. So my uncle returned home alone every night. He was very brave. On the night the incident happened, after finishing carom, he set off for home. Coins jingled in his pocket. A half-finished cigarette hung from his lips. Their rhythm kept pace with his steps like companions. After walking a bit, he saw a stall frying cheat-eye rice cakes. That shop was rarely open at night, but that night it was open. We little ones at home loved pitha, and my uncle knew it. So whenever he had the chance, he brought pitha for us. That night was no exception. He bought some for us and stood there eating a few himself. He did not drink water because the glass was dirty. Without drinking, he set off for home. It was winter, and at around 11 p.m., somewhere far off, a jackal howled. When the wind ran through the trees, it carried a long, flute-like wail. After a while, my uncle suddenly felt something walking behind him. He heard the tick-tick of wet claws scraping the road. He looked back and saw a black cat staring menacingly at the pitha in his hand. Its eyes gleamed, but its whiskers did not move and its mouth did not open. Yet there was an unbearable growling rumble. To drive it away, he gave a hard kick. The cat was knocked aside, but made no sound. Only silence. After walking a bit, he saw the same cat again. It was sitting in the middle of the road and staring at him with terrifying intensity. It seemed to have no shadow, only a body with a black smear stuck to the road beneath it. A peculiar fear began to work inside him. Mustering courage, he took a stick and struck the cat hard. As the blow landed, the cat dissolved into the air like a coil of smoke blending into the wind. Seeing this, he grew very frightened and wondered how it could vanish in the blink of an eye. His chest throbbed and a chill ran down his spine. The surroundings were full of big trees. The road cut through the undergrowth. He kept moving forward along that path. Soon he saw something he was not prepared to see. In the middle of the road lay a dead body wrapped in cloth. The white shroud, wrapped like a sari, had dark lines of fresh mud along the hem and a faint damp patch near the chest. It was a full moon night. In the hazy moonlight, the shape was clear, yet the light seemed to avoid the body and slip past. Realizing something unnatural was happening, he hurriedly lit a cigarette. His phone had no charge. He could not turn on the flashlight. The surroundings were filled with fog. Because of the fog, he could not make out the face clearly. He gathered some courage and approached the corpse. The face was still covered with cloth. His whole body suddenly began to feel heavy. Then a cold breeze lifted the cloth from the body as if someone had raised it by hand. What he saw next he was not prepared to see. The corpse's two terrifying eyes stared menacingly at my uncle. The flesh of the face was crushed. A grotesque smile clung to its lips. The smile was soundless, yet it felt as if someone whispered my uncle's name into his ear. He could not bear it. He shut his eyes and recited surahs as he ran forward. After running for a long time, he reached a house and collapsed at the door. Hearing the thud, they opened the door and found my uncle unconscious. They brought him inside and poured water on his head. After a little, while he regained consciousness, and soon his teeth began to chatter. His fingers were ice cold and his lips were pale. Then they called our house from his phone. We went there and brought him home. From the next day, he could speak again. He told us everything that had happened. From that morning, he had a high fever. At night, he saw that corpse in his dreams. In the dream, the road always turned left, and each time the body drew a little closer. Even though he had such dreams, he did not tell anyone at home. He did not want anyone to worry about him. Meanwhile, his fever kept gradually rising. Seeing this, they brought a village cleric. He performed exorcisms, but the fever did not subside. That night, the fever worsened, and in his dreams, he again saw the corpse and the cat. He saw the cat slowly climbing down the wall. Its feet made no sound. His body burned with fever. He suddenly woke up. He was very thirsty. As he reached for the glass of water by his bed, his eyes fell on the bed itself. In the lamplight, he saw the cat he had seen in his dream, now in reality. It was quite large. The room's door was fully bolted. Let alone a cat. Even a mouse could not have entered the room. How had such a big cat come inside? He now knew something unnatural was happening. Unable to bear it, he tried to jump off the cot and run. He realized he had kicked the cat with his foot, and he could not move that leg. That leg had gone numb. He did not know what to do. He screamed loudly and fainted. Hearing his scream, everyone in the house came to the room and found him unconscious. The next day, he told everyone what had happened that night. Hearing all this, my father sought out many traditional healers. Even after seeing many of them, there was no solution. On the fifth day, at exactly 12 noon, an unknown man came to our house. The noonday sun was fierce. We had never seen him before. He stared fixedly at our house and muttered something we could not understand. The sounds sent a shiver down the spine. When my grandfather went up to him, the man said that a great misfortune was approaching and something terrible had cast its gaze on his son. Then he gave an address of a healer and left. Even after much searching, my grandfather could not find that man anywhere. The direction he took at the bend in the road had no lane at all. Following the address, my grandfather met a healer. Seeing him, the healer said that the corpse my uncle saw that day was a malevolent Jinn. The Jinn had its eye on the Pitha. My uncle's biggest mistake was kicking that cat. When my grandfather asked how he knew all this, the healer replied that he knew everything and that 3 Jinn were always with him and brought him news. As he spoke, his voice alternated between thick and thin, as if multiple throats were speaking at once. He told him to bring my uncle to him. He told him to bring a black rooster, 10 kilograms of sweets, and soil from a 3-way junction. He said these would do for now. He told him not to let my uncle stay alone that night and to stay with him. He told him to hang an amulet around his neck. The moment my uncle touched the amulet, a hot, cold current ran through his hand. My grandfather returned home and hung the amulet around my uncle's neck. Nothing much happened that night. Those slow footsteps were heard on the roof. At first light, they took my uncle to the healer. The healer seated him and began reciting mantras. He blew on the fire so that it flared high. When he threw salt, mustard, and neem leaves into it, a sharp, pungent smell spread. After a while, my uncle's body began to shake strangely, and the Jinn manifested in him. My uncle's eyes were half open but unfocused. His lips moved, but the language that came out had never been heard. The Jinn said that the cat which had been kicked was a child. Its voice held anger, grief, and a cold cruelty. Then many things happened. Since the Jinn was far less powerful than the healer struck it with his mantras, and the Jinn inside my uncle began to scream. Unable to bear the blow, it promised to leave the body and went away. Before leaving, the door latch shook by itself, and outside a gust like a storm swept by. It felt as if someone had hurried out of the room. My uncle then fainted and collapsed to the floor. The healer said that the Jinn would no longer come to trouble my uncle. He gave an amulet and told him to wear it for 40 days. On the way home, he told my uncle to stop at the 3-way junction, take a handful of soil, breathe out 3 times, and throw it over his shoulder. After that, there were no more problems.